Well, hey guys, Aaron Walker here, view from the top, thoughts from the Greenway. You see behind me the oldest standing structure in Sumner County. It was built in 1787. I told y'all about this a few weeks ago. I had to sit down for a minute. My hind ends wore out. I've walked too much this morning and I still got to go all the way back. So anyway, I thought I'd sit down here and take a break. I titled this, How Can I Help My Children? And I want to talk to you about something that's becoming a little bit epidemic, if you will, related to parenting. It's a common problem that I see every day with young clients that I coach. And when I say young clients, I'm talking about guys in their 30s and 40s. That's pretty young to big A now. But here's the deal. They say we're not on the same page parenting, and they don't know how to handle discipline. And man, my mom and dad were strong disciplinarians when I was growing up, and as a result of that, I was as well. Now, don't hear me wrong, you know, I'm not saying beat your kids, that's not what I'm saying at all. But I do think we need to pay special attention to the way we're disciplining our children and the things that we're doing. And the thing that I want to point out primarily this morning is let your yes be yes, and let your no be no. And let me explain what I mean by that. I got two quick stories. I was in church about, 20 years ago, and I was standing there, and Brooke ran up to me. She was about 12 years old at the time, and she started to say something, and she stopped. And the adult that I was talking to stopped talking, and I said, no, continue on, go ahead. And I didn't even look at Brooke. He went ahead and finished what he was saying, and when he got completed, I looked at Brooke, and I said, yes, Brooke, what is it? And she went ahead and asked her question. She turned around, ran off like all 12-year-old kids do. And he looked at me and he said, how did you do that? And I said, how did I do what? He said, she didn't interrupt. And I said, no, she better not ever interrupt me when I'm talking to an adult. She'll get some severe consequences as a result of it. And he said, man, I could never do that in a million years. He said, my kids would interrupt in a minute. Well, the thing is you teach them, right? They're children and they don't know any better oftentimes. Another time, Holly had a little girl over to spend the night, and she was 10 or 11 years old, and Holly said, Dad, can we go to the movies? And I said, no, we went to the movies last Friday night. We're not going tonight. And I heard the little girl in the next room. She said, go ask him again. And Holly looked at her and said, you don't know my dad. He said, no. And that's exactly what I meant, was no. Now, here's the thing. Always, always, always try to say yes. You don't want to be that guy that says no to everything your children want to do. But when you do say no, it's over, right? No is a complete sentence at my house because you're the adult, you're the parent. Now here's what I'm hearing. Parents are not on the same page with that. The dad wants to say no, the mom wants to say yes. You guys have got to get on the same page as adults. You got to communicate better. You've got to raise your children with a unified spirit. So go in your sunroom or bedroom, wherever, and talk it out and get on the same page. Don't fight each other. You're harming the children. And here's the other thing I want to say. If you're I'm fixing to get in trouble. My team is going to get on to me for saying this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. If you're the parent that is counting 1, 2, 3, 4, going. I love on Everybody Loves Raymond where he's getting on to Allie, his little girl, and he says 1, 2, 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 3/4, and then he goes, Allie, I don't know any more fractions. Don't be that parent. Let me tell you why. Because you're going to teach a child that they can continue on and on and on, and when they get in life, they're not going to be able to receive the inevitable no, and you're going to mess them up. You need to say no. Now let me tell you how you can get to that. You're saying there's no way, I'm too far gone. No, you're not. You're never too far gone. Take little Johnny to Sweet Cece's tonight if he's 7 or 8 years old or 10 or ever how old the kids are, and love on him. Tell him how much you love him and care for him. And then lean into him and say, Johnny, let me tell you something, buddy. Dad loves you more than life. I love you more than anything. And I'm not doing you a favor by counting and by giving in all the time and allowing you to do whatever you want. And we got a new rule in the house today, and here's what it is. When Daddy says no, I may warn you one time, but that's it. I'm not warning you anymore because you're a child. I don't expect you to get it every time. But there's going to be severe consequences as a result of what you do if we go further than that. Now, it's going to be hard for about 2 weeks, but if you do what you say and you mean what you say, you'll get out of that counting. And you and the parent, you and your wife, or your wife and your husband, whatever which case is that's watching this video, if you're unified in that, you'll stop counting, and the kids will understand no is no and yes is yes. We owe it. It's incumbent upon us as parents to raise our children correctly. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. My team's going to hate me this morning when they watch this video. But here's the thing. You are not getting invited to social things because of your children. They won't behave. They're running around jumping on the furniture and they're spilling their Kool-Aid in the kitchen because you won't make them behave. You won't make them mind. We need to grow up responsible children. And the only way that we can do that is if we toe a fine line. My mom used to tell me all the time as a kid, she said, you're going to respect me out of love or fear. You take your pick. Make it easy on yourself. Now listen, I'm not advocating being, some hard-nosed that never says yes. That's not what I'm saying, so don't hear me wrong. I'm saying be consistent. Let your yeses be yeses and your nos be no, and you'll do a tremendous favor to your children. It'll be hard for the first 2 weeks, but I think my internet is trying to cut me off, or it's one of my team members. Hey, listen, I'm Aaron Walker, View from the Top. You guys have a great day and go out there and love on your kids. We'll see you later.